Doctors. I'm Chad. This is Albert. Tell us what we're going to do today, Albert.
We're going to test out the Old Forrester product line.
Not all of it, but hey, we
Not all
picked
of it.
5, and we picked all the dated ones. The Prohibition, 1920, original batch, the Old Fine, the Bottle and Bond, and we also threw in the 100 proof. There's the 86 proof and Statesman, which are readily available.
And of course, the birthday bourbon that not so readily available.
Not so readily available. But part of our impetus to stop at this number was because the more you get, the harder it is to rank them. I mean, when you got 10 different ones, it's hard. It's easy when you got 2 up against each other, and we thought this was a nice sampling and representation of Old Forrester's line.
Yeah, I would agree. I know that there's some that would argue that the 86 is a good whiskey and should be in this lineup, but we had to make some cuts somewhere. Okay. And we've already established that we're big fans of the 1910, but we thought this would be a good way to test out some of the other ones and see where they fall in terms of our tastes.
Yep. So we're gonna randomize. We're gonna blind this out. So we're gonna have 1 through 5. We don't know which one's which, but these are gonna be the 5, and we'll figure it out. Should we start?
Let's get started.
Okay.
Okay. So we're back, and we've got 5 glasses, and we're blinded.
We know what's in them, but we don't know which
what
is
order.
which.
Yeah. So we're just gonna taste them out.
We got 1910, 20 original batch, bottled and bond, and the 100 proof.
And you may notice we ran out of Glencairn glasses, so we have a couple extra. I don't know. Some might argue that the glass might affect things, but I don't think so.
I don't think so. No. I really don't. I don't buy them.
So and our glasses may not be in the same order either.
Well, we're gonna try these, and I'm gonna rank my 5, and then we're gonna figure out which is which.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's the 19. Well, who knows? I really like it.
So you go immediately. That must be the 1910.
It's a sweet. And hey, you know how 1910 came to be? Should I tell them the story?
I mean, you can tell them the story.
In 1910, Old Forrester's bottling line. They were the first distillery to bottle in glass bottles. In 1910, the bottling line broke down, so they had a bunch of whiskey they had to rebarrel. And so essentially it's a double-barreled whiskey. It's like a double oaked or something, and it imparts really quite a sweetness to it. This one's really good, too.
This has got a little bit more of a caramel.
And again, we don't even know if we're drinking the same stuff right
now. No, we don't.
But I'm putting this ahead of this right now. It's a little bit more spice to it. This is a little sweeter.
Yeah. Do you get the bananas thing?
No.
I don't either. I know a lot of you guys talk about bananas with the Old Forrester line.
The other one that's crazy is when people say it's dark fruit. I'm like, dark fruit? What the hell does that even mean?
Clearly, our palates are not as refined
as some others.
With some others, but yeah, bananas. I don't.
These last 3, I'm getting almost the exact same taste out of each one. And maybe it's because. We're drinking them.
Maybe we need a little palate cleanser in between.
So
this was the hardest ranking that I've done.
Well, prior to this, we've ranked what, 2 at a time?
2 at a time. Well, yeah.
2 at a time.
And it was
3.
always like the
so it was fairly
tournament.
Easy.
And well, the other day we did the taste test of 4, and I thought that was fairly easy, but it was all 4 very different whiskeys, 4 different bourbons. This one, the taste profiles were really similar. And I had a really hard time.
And here's what I'm going to say. None of them is bad.
No, they're all really good.
This one I'd probably use more as a mixing bourbon or a cocktail bourbon. These 2 for sure, whatever they are.
Let's see, because maybe that one's the.
Let's find out. And they are. So I put the 1910 first.
And
you put it last.
Somehow I put it last.
How could you put it last?
And I usually like the 1910.
Okay, so here's how I had it. I had 1910 first, and you guys may not, hopefully you can see all this. And then I had the 1920. So I had 1910, then 1920, and that was, I thought, really good and really spicy. That goes back to the whole thing of people doing the 1915, because you'd offset the sweet and the spicy with if you do a 50-50 mix. Then I had the 100 proof. And then I had the bottled and bond. And I thought that the original batch was somewhat underwhelming. So what did you have?
So I look at your list and I go, well, that makes sense. I
Yeah,
look
your
at my
list doesn't
list
make
and
any
it doesn't
sense
make
at all.
any sense at all. I mean,
My
I've got
list
the
is
100
better.
proof as first, and I've got
How do you have
1910
the 100 proof
is
first?
last, and 1920 is second to last. And I liked the original batch and the 1897, the bottom bun.
We're all over the place.
I
on
don't.
this.
I'm gonna.
So hey, how do we?
How do
We
you
were
make
talking
sense of
about how
this?
we're going to draw a conclusion on this. We didn't hardly agree at all.
And
And I think we both think our picks are the right picks.
no, I don't. I think my picks are all over the map, and it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
I think I'm having an off palate day. I mean, to be perfectly honest, this does not make sense to me. This is a really good example of your palate changes from day to day.
Oh, absolutely.
And sometimes from hour to hour. When we did our bourbon tournament, not by the time this comes out, this won't be a spoiler, but 1910 made it to the finals, right? It beat
good whiskey.
beat our rare breed, which is
One of our favorites.
totally one of our favorites. Yet we just did an episode the other day where rare breed for both of us tasted better than the 1910.
Okay, so
But
still, we got to answer the question.
What's the one to buy? What's the one?
Yeah.
What's the best
If you're
one?
at the store and you're like, shoot, I got to get one of these bottles. Which one are you buying?
Right now, from where I sit and what I just went through, tasting these 5 whiskeys and really having a tough time going, which one is my favorite? I'll take the 100 proof $20 bottle.
That's
'Cause
what
you know
I was
what?
going to say. Here's what I'd say. If you're at the store, and this is my conclusion, this isn't our conclusion. If you say, man, I can get any bottle on this shelf that I want, this is the one I'm getting, an Old Fine. If you're looking for the best value in this line, I think it's right here. I think it's at the 100 proof, because that is only a $22 we pay for that.
Yeah.
And this is about 50, low 50s.
Low 50s.
Sometimes 60, depending on
Depending on where you
go get it.
are and what you're doing. But
Most of these are in that
$50
range, and this is $20,
$20.
and you ranked it number one.
number one. Usually our whiskey tastes are pretty
Similar?
similar. We're pretty well aligned.
Tells
I think
me
this
you're having
tells
a
me
bad
that
day.
yes, maybe I'm having a bad day, but also maybe it doesn't freaking matter, right? Maybe the mash bills and the bottling, the process is so similar in each of these that
This one
at
is
least
double
for
barreled.
my unrefined.
Yeah, and let's be honest.
Shitty
We don't
palate.
sit here and go, it tastes like banana and
No,
guava
oh
and
god,
all that
yeah,
shit.
we don't. It tastes like whiskey to
It
me,
tastes like whiskey.
and it's
Some of it is
some of it's
better than
good,
others.
yeah.
And maybe another episode would be let's make a 1915, but that's for another day.
Maybe for another day. This wraps up this episode of the
I don't know. Did
Bourbon
we even
Doctors.
come to a conclusion? That's
maybe
my conclusion.
My
Yours
conclusion
is if buy the
buy the
100.
old 100 and
Go for
maybe
it.
my taste buds are just whacked today. Who knows?
Right.
Remember to like and comment and subscribe. We really do appreciate the comments. We listen
Yeah.
we read them all. We listen to them all, and we appreciate them.
Good or bad. Hey, if you got some other ideas, if you've tasted these and you said you guys are nuts,
Or just the one the other day that just said bullshit.
that's okay.
I mean,
I would like him to elaborate on
it'd be
bullshit.
nice.
Okay, bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit.
I call bullshit, but all right. Have a great day, everyone.
Bourbon is for drinking.
Cheers, brother.
But this tells me you can't go wrong with anything in the Old Forrester line.